Nashville school shooter Audrey Hale's manifesto will be released. That has been confirmed by Nashville police, who have been under considerable criticism, accused of covering up the manifesto because apparently it is a blueprint for destruction. So I believe there's been a lot of hesitancy in releasing the manifesto of Audrey Hale. Other school shooters, other mass shooters have had manifestos, insane ramblings of one sort or another, extreme ideologies to act as an excuse, a justification for their murderous behavior. Audrey Hale is no different in that regard. She had a manifesto, but it hasn't been released, but it will be. We're not told when the manifesto will be released, and it's quite clear that whatever is released will be heavily redacted, meaning we're not going to actually see the full manifesto. We're going to see a doctored, redacted version of it. We might be able to make some sense from it, but maybe we won't. Audrey Hale's writings have been referred to as a blueprint on total destruction, detailing on why she chose to enter the Covenant School on March 27th and kill 3 children and 3 members of staff. We don't know why she did that. Presumably it's outlined in the manifesto, and those that have read the manifesto have said that it's a blueprint on total destruction. I don't really know what a blueprint on total destruction means. It seems a bit of a silly thing to say, to be honest. It's so vague. I mean, obviously we're being told that it's incredibly heinous, but a blueprint for total destruction, a blueprint on total destruction, I don't really understand what we're supposed to understand from that. Audrey Hale fired 152 rounds from 2 assault rifles and a handgun. She murdered Haley Scruggs, William Kinney, Evelyn Dierkhaus. They were all 9 years of age. The murderer also killed Dr. Catherine Kuntz, 60 years of age, substitute teacher Cynthia Peake, 61 years of age, and custodian Mike Hill, 61 years of age. 3 children, 3 adults, all murdered with no known motive, but presumably that's listed in Audrey Hale's manifesto, which is to be released at some point. So we're told that the manifesto was retrieved by officers along with hand-drawn maps, a suicide note, 20 journals, laptops, phones, and several writings from Audrey Hale's home, as well as the Honda car, the Honda Fit, that she left in the school parking lot. So seemingly she's left quite a trail of information. I'm gonna place my bets at this point it's gonna contain all sorts of insane ramblings. How can it not? How can any sane person go on a school shooting rampage, willingly shoot and kill children? How can any sane person do that? Whatever is written in these journals and the manifesto and whatever else is going to be absolutely insane, whatever it is. So it can be a blueprint on destruction. To me, it makes no difference because it's just going to be insane ramblings. A sane person isn't going to read the manifesto and go, oh, you know what? You got a good point. Let's go and shoot up some other kids. No sane person is going to react like that. Yeah. I don't like this term, a blueprint on total destruction. We're being told that we're to be utterly scared of these writings. I can't see why we ought to be. Sure, they're going to be absolutely terrible, horrific ideas and concepts and arguments within this manifesto. Sure, I get that. But it's not anything that a sane person is going to take in any level of seriousness. Oh, Audrey, you make a really good point. Yeah, let's go kill some people. No one's brain is going to work like that. This isn't going to be a writing that is going to be able to brainwash people. Oh, here you are, read this sentence, now you're brainwashed. It's just not going to happen. Having said that, I think it is a legitimate question to ask, why hasn't the manifesto been released? Again, other shooters, mass shooters of various kinds, have manifestos and they get released pretty much instantaneously as far as I understand. This hasn't been. On top of that, we're told it's a really awful piece of writing and it's going to disturb the public to a very high degree. And I'm sure there is truth in that, but at the same time, again, I'm repeating myself, but you know, it's not going to influence others, or rather it's not going to influence other sane people to take any action. Sane people are going to read it and go, okay, this is what this twisted, sick individual thought. This is what they're pinning as being their justification for their horrendous acts that 0 people on this planet, 0 sane people on this planet support. So we're told that investigators believe that the rest of America won't deal well with this manifesto, that it's going to take a toll on people to read this manifesto. So I'm going to comment on that. Look, I've been running this true crime channel for, let's say, coming up 2 years, a year and a half or so. And And I read through these very, very dark topics, and I've read through a lot of child murders in particular. This is a true crime channel, and I didn't really have too much knowledge about true crime, or I'll say this, I didn't really have like an absolute passion for true crime prior to starting the channel. It's just an area I wanted to explore. Thought it could potentially make a good channel. I could do well in the channel. I could enjoy the topic. Enjoy not being the right word. But I didn't know too much about it, but I have delved into this topic very heavily, and part of the reason why I focused on child murders in particular, and the reason why I cover the topics that I do cover, is because they do strike me as important. They're incredibly disturbing. They are disturbing, very much so, but they seem important with that, perhaps even because of that, because of their disturbing nature. It feels important to not overlook, to not skip by. Oh, isn't the world fantastic? Oh, isn't everything wonderful? No, it fucking isn't. There's murder, there's torture, there's art, there's all kinds of awful, awful thing, and there are these individuals amongst us that commit these crimes. Some of them are sane, some of them are insane, and perhaps many are somewhere in between. So I don't know, I've gone on a bit of a ramble there. Maybe I'll go on another one in a minute. But yeah, my point that I'm making is some of these topics that I go through, yeah, they have a damaging effect. I get overwhelmed. I get a little bit down with some of the topics. I've got a pretty good constitution, and I feel very empathetic in regards to the situation, in regards to the victim and the victim's families, whilst I prepare the articles or the videos, and whilst I read through the articles. That's really the time that I'm taking to consider the situations. And yeah, I'm very empathetic. But typically, once I finish a video, I'm done, you know, with no disrespect. I'm done. I've got to move on. I've got to mentally move on. And I do quite successfully, but not entirely successfully. Like, I believe that these topics, they have an accumulating effect. They're chipping away at me. They do chip away. So every now and then I take a little break, and it's not really purposeful, but it's more that I just can't face making another video. And it's not that I don't enjoy making the videos, I do, but also they're pretty depressing, aren't they? So, and also I know I'm extending this ramble for whatever reason, but I will comment that I do have, and I have had, long-standing viewers that have let me know that they've unsubbed from the channel, not because they don't like the videos, not because I'm doing a bad job, but they've unsubbed because the videos are very dark, extremely dark, and they can be depressing, and everyone has to protect their own mental health. So I'm aware of that. I get it, because I feel it myself. I'm the one that's watching every single of the videos that I'm making, because I'm the one making them. So I actually, you know, do the preparation, then I make the video, and then I have to edit the video after lately. So I have to listen to it for another time. So I'm going over these topics multiple times, and I'm going over a lot of topics. So it does actually get pretty mentally draining. Continue this horrendous ramble, so I'll wrap things up. But yeah, I can imagine that this manifesto is going to be a difficult thing for the American public to read through. It will be, but it's not going to brainwash anyone. It's not going to lead to any bad actions, certainly not from sane people, and I would think not from any insane people either. I remember after the Christchurch killings in New Zealand, I was very fearful. For whatever reason, that was something which made me very, very fearful of copycat killers. I was thinking that there was just going to be a huge number of copycat killers, those that were going to make them some live streams of them shooting up mosques, targeting Muslims. That's what my fear was. Thankfully, that didn't happen. So I think this is going to be fairly similar. People will read through the manifesto, be disgusted by it, be disturbed to an extent, and then move on. And if we have to suffer a little bit of depression or downheartedness because of a very important subject, if we have to reflect on these dark subjects, difficult subjects for a period of time, then so be it. You know, the dark subjects meaning whatever they happen to be. If her manifesto is about the disturbing nature of being transgender, or however angry she is towards her parents for whatever reasons, however angry she is towards her Catholic upbringing, whatever it happens to be, perhaps it's important for us to at least have an understanding, at least a period of reflection as to this side of humanity and what other people might be experiencing or thinking. So I'm going to wrap things up at this point. This has been a real ramble fest. I've had a couple in my last video making session. If you've listened to the end of this, then you're genuinely an absolute star and morally ought to be obliged to join my memberships. I'm on the road to 2,000 members. That's my goal. It's a high goal, but I'm going to get there. Currently at 0 members. Been doing this for 18 months or more, still at 0. That's okay. If you'd like to be the first or one of the first, please do join. And that will give me encouragement not only to continue, because I seem to be entrenched in this to the point that I'll be continuing regardless of whether or not I get members, but it might encourage me to be a little bit more consistent, a little bit quicker in the topics that I tackle, and I would like to do more on the channel, but it's very difficult for me to push myself to find the time to do everything that I could do when there's no support, financial support, I guess. Well, anyway, I've said it now, so I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you for listening, and please take care.